Okay, so now, Jimmy, we are here for, as we all call it, and I talked about it in the opening rant, Black Monday. One of the days of the month, days of the season that I hate, as it's Black Monday, and people are, whatever. Anyway, everybody fired. We just firing people now. We got to go ahead and start letting people go. Didn't make any sense. And so these are who all got fired so far. We have Doug Marrone, which was kind of expected. I know that was a piece that a lot of people had been talking about. Adam Gase, which finally they fired that man. He should have been gone. Period. Just for the fact that they lost the number one pick, should have fired him on the spot. Talk about pressing charges. And then the shocking one for me was Anthony Lynn got fired today. That was a surprise to me, and I'll explain why in a minute. But then we also got three other jobs that are open. The Texans job's open, the Detroit Lions is open, and the Atlanta Falcons are open, as all those coaches got fired subsequently during the season. And so now we look at the positions with the LA Chargers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, Houston Texans, Detroit Lions, and Atlanta Falcons. Jimmy, the question is, which job is the most attractive?
The LA Chargers. Give me that LA weather, that LA market. Give me 8 home games in that multi-billion-dollar stadium. Give me Justin Herbert and the offensive pieces around him, like Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, and give me that defense on the other side with 2 edge rushers. And if I could just keep Derwin James healthy, he would compete for Defensive Player of the Year every single year of his career. Give me all of that over whatever else is out there. That's what I'm telling my agent. Get me in a room with Chargers management as soon as the season is over with, or I'm firing you. Just kidding. I wouldn't say that last part. But just get me in the room, please. It's best for the both of us if you get me in that room with the LA Chargers.
So I initially thought that, yes, the Chargers is the best job. So also why I didn't think Anthony Lynn was going to get fired. I knew he was going to say this. Mm-hmm. They did better in the last 4 games of the season. I think they won them. They won the last 2. They won the last 4. They won the last 4. They increased their win total from last year from 5 to 7. Mm-hmm. So they got better after Phillip Rivers was gone, and he looked like a shell of himself last season. Right. So I believed, even with the deficiencies that Anthony Lynn showed with game management, that they were going a better direction keeping him because of the 12-4 season they had the year before that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, they should keep Anthony Lynn. Then, of course, they decided not to. So my thought behind this being a good job or not actually went out the window with that. Because I started thinking back to, what do the Chargers traditionally do? What are they known for? They're known for firing coaches that are winning. That's what they do. Perfect example. Remember Marty Schottenheimer?
I do.
He was head coach of the Chargers. He went 14-2. They fired him that Black Monday. Actually, it wasn't Black Monday. It was the week after because they lost in the divisional. So they fired him. He was 14-2 with that team with Phillip Rivers, a young Rivers. They helped build him up. And guess what happened to them afterwards? They basically went into purgatory with Norv Turner, all the way down here to Anthony Lynn. Mm-hmm. So the problem I see with the Chargers is that they're known for letting go of coaches at the wrong time. And I feel like in this circumstance, this was another one of those at the wrong time.
So you feel like Anthony Lynn should have been given another season?
Yep, because I bet you they make the playoffs next year. The other thing about that job is, too, you've got one team you got to face twice a year, and I'm not sure if anybody wants to face them twice a year for the next, 15 years.
Nobody does, but the Chargers do tend to play them tough. They played them in a close game this season, and granted they didn't have their starters with them in this Week 17 game, but they still won the game. I mean, they tend to play them tougher than most teams in that division.
And guess what, Jimmy? They have to play against this guy for the next 15 years. Yes. So what does that mean? You're not going to the Super Bowl.
That's not
it ain't happening
to have.
Jimmy.
It's going to be tough. You're facing a Hall of Fame quarterback already and a Hall of Fame coach. But, like I said, they play them tough. That means that they usually, it's just a matchup issue. They're usually right there with this team. So you add a few more pieces, you keep grinding, you keep the players who are making plays, especially against this team, and then you see what you can do. You can't treat them like they're invisible. You can't walk into the game believing that you've already lost. That's our job. They can't walk into the game like that.
Valid point, but it is also the Chargers. Like, they have history of just being, I don't know.
Mediocre.
There you go. We'll utilize that. It's perfect. Thank you. They're a roller coaster. They will go up and down constantly, and they always fire, like I said, coaches at the wrong time. So when I looked at that, I think the job that's probably the best outside of the Chargers might be. It's so tough to say that any of these jobs are good. Mm-hmm. But I kind of like the way the Jets play at the end of the season. The question is, can you put more pieces there? Draft-wise, think they're set well. The Chargers are set well. The Texans have no draft picks, so they're basically a waste of your time. Or even, honestly, the Jaguars. I actually think the Jaguars would be better.
They were my number two.
They're better, and this is why. You can send Gardner Minshew out with and get a fourth or fifth or even a sixth-round pick. Mm-hmm. You probably won't get fourth or fifth out. You probably get a sixth-round pick out of Gardner Minshew to somebody that wants a backup just in case they have an injury, and boom, you're good to go. Atlanta, I don't want to touch Atlanta just because it's Atlanta 1-2. Matt Ryan is still there. Mm-hmm. And what do you do about a circumstance where you have a quarterback that's aging and you can't get past him?
Right.
Don't want to touch the Lions. Bad luck.
Why? Yeah, no one wins there.
No one wins there. And so it leads me, to be honest, I guess the most recent firings are honestly the best jobs. Now, the Texans would definitely be intriguing because you got Deshaun Watson. You have your franchise quarterback, but you ain't no draft picks. So you have to rely on hoping to get free agents to come to town.
Okay, now tell me again, what intrigues you about this Jets job? Why is that even within the top three of what you would consider?
They played really hard at the end of the season. They actually played like they wanted to win games. Like they didn't look like Philadelphia, who showed they were tanking. Like, they actually looked like they were trying to win games. Plus, you can probably get a solid draft pick out of Sam Darnold, too. Mm-hmm. Send him to Denver, get yourself maybe a 2 or 3, probably a 4.
Yeah, that's something they have to consider because, they are going to be in a position to draft Justin Fields because they have the number 2 spot.
Right. So you can trade him and get another pick.
He's in San Francisco, probably.
Right. And I actually was going to ask you a question when it comes to the displaced quarterbacks. We had to ask about is what's up with Jimmy Garoppolo? Is he even going to last there? I actually have a theory that he's going to get traded to the Patriots. And Jim Belichick's going to bring him back, but that's not neither here nor there.
Right.
Job-wise, I'd say Jaguars then Chargers. Only issue with the Chargers is, like I said before, ownership, man. They do crazy stuff.
So do you think Eric Bieniemy is thinking that exact same thing? Because he's going to be one of the hottest names out there after the playoffs.
He's already interviewed. He's interviewing for 3 jobs right now. It was announced that the Jets, the Jags, and I think the Texans have asked to interview Bieniemy. I have to reconfirm. Yeah, it is. Falcons and Lions have asked for interviews, and then the Jets as well.
He better get to the chart. He would already know this team. He would know the Chiefs better than anyone just in virtue of having worked there. So he would know exactly what their weaknesses are, which gives you, again, another leg up on being able to try to find some kind of a way to compete with this Chiefs team over the next 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, you probably want to get him in Chargers. If the Chargers are smart, they'll go after him and give him that job.
Exactly right.
And to be honest, out of all the jobs, that's probably the better one for him because he has a young quarterback. He's got a stout defense. That I like when they're healthy, right? And you can build around Justin Herbert and his abilities because, truth be told, you do have to give Bieniemy some props along with Andy Reid on the development of Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely.
He worked closely with him to develop him into who he is today. So, yeah, I can see that. So that's Bieniemy, the first one. Who do you think the Lions go after?
Whoever will pick up the phone. Come on. I'm trying to think of things that aren't depressing about being the Detroit Lions head coach. And the only thing I can think of is that I have to go to personnel. You have a good young running back. You have what was becoming a star wide receiver until he was hurt for most of this year in Kenny Golladay. That's it. I can't think of really any major defensive pieces that they have. I don't know what their offensive line looks like. I mean, I don't know if anybody. They might have to hire internally. I don't know if anyone outside of the building is really going to want to coach there. Like, I can't think of anything really positive about this job. Another aged quarterback who just really hasn't done much at all other than, pad his stats. Stat Padford is what Rob Parker calls him instead of Matt Stafford. So I mean,
Pat Stafford?
Pat Stafford's what he calls him.
Wow.
Stat Padford.
Stat Padford.
Stat Padford.
Stat Padford. Wow. That's pretty good. Well, I mean, the name that's rumbling around is your boy, Robert Saleh, the DC for the 49ers. He's from Michigan.
Okay.
Went to Northern Michigan. Mm-hmm. So he's got a lot of roots out there. And I could totally see him potentially taking that job. I know Jacksonville's going after him as well, but maybe. I think the problem with Detroit going after him is he's a defensive coach. How does that work?
It doesn't.
Like, that's not your problem, right? Or is it your problem?
They're both sides of the ball are their problem, but they just had a defensive coach in Matt Patricia, and that ended very poorly.
Well, Matt Patricia's a descendant of Bill Belichick, and the descendants of Bill Belichick don't do very well as head coaches. We've seen this before. Okay. I mean, even, go down the list of them. They're typically not very good.
I'll grant you that.
So...
give me to LA.
Yeah. Okay, I can see the Chargers as being that job, so... Okay.